Welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. So we all know what's been going on with Saudi Arabia and sports in general, but in football, they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, and a whole host of other massive names to grow their Saudi Pro League. Now, Al-Ittihad, the club that brought in N'Golo Kante, Fabinho, Karim Benzema, and were trying to get Mohamed Salah, they actually also brought in someone a little bit different than you would imagine. Nigeria international Ashleigh Plumbtre. Yes, Ashleigh Plumbtre is a female footballer who just went to Saudi Arabia. And yes, Saudi Arabia does have a professional women's league and also a national team. All of this is pretty new. It's just a few years old, but it is very interesting to see where this is going to go. So you may remember in the lead up to the World Cup, Visit Saudi were one of the potential sponsors that FIFA was working with. And there was a massive uproar to basically pull the plug on that whole entire thing. The New Zealand FA protested saying, we weren't asked if we were okay with this, and we're not. USA star Alex Morgan made a point that Saudi Arabia trying to sponsor the Women's World Cup is weird when they've barely put any effort into their women's league or their women's national team. Saudi Arabia's women's team was not even ranked by FIFA because they'd played so few games. So for them to be sponsoring the Women's World Cup, it felt a little off. But Alex Morgan also said something else that I found interesting. She said, I think it's bizarre that FIFA has looked to have a Visit Saudi sponsorship for the Women's World Cup when I, myself, Alex Morgan, would not even be supported and accepted in that country. And that's where I'm not really sure what she's talking about. She's saying she would not be supported or accepted for who she is. What, an American soccer player? A woman? U.S. international Taylor Korniak, she said something kind of similar when that whole sponsorship saga was going on. We obviously can't control who FIFA sponsors with, but at the end of the day, U.S. soccer, we believe in partnering with people who align with our values best. Yeah, I get it, but when you say align with our values, which ones are you talking about? Are you talking about U.S. capitalism and independence and freedom to express yourself? Are you talking about religious freedom, meaning Islam? I mean, what are we talking about here? What are the values that we talk about with aligning best? The question is, how will people like Taylor Korniak and Alex Morgan and any others who have criticized Saudi Arabia full stop, how are they going to look at someone like Ashleigh Plumbtre for her deciding to go to Saudi Arabia? What she said of the move was this: my journey of stepping into more of myself continues. It's more than football. I'm really excited. I feel like I've chosen somewhere that aligns with it. It always has to come down to this for me. Like, it has to align with who I am as a person. This whole value alignment thing all these women are talking about is very interesting. I mean, the men don't really do this. They basically say, is it competitive? Do I get the money? Is it where I want to go? Good. And I have no issues with these women who are going to play somewhere wanting the project to align with who they are. I do get that. Now, you may say this alignment from Saudi Arabia has a lot to do with money. Hey, must be the money. But that's also okay, because if Saudi Arabia are going to put the money where their mouth is and say, hey, like, we are going to pay you good money to come over here and play. And we believe in growing women's football. So the question is, do they actually?
To hell with the rest of the world, hey?
Now, Ashleigh Plumbtre, she is from Leicester. She grew up in England playing for the under 15s, 17s, 19s, under 20s, and then decided to represent Nigeria as a full international. She does qualify through her paternal grandfather, who was from Lagos, Nigeria. She played college soccer in the United States at USC in Southern California, which is a pretty good school and a great program. And then she moved back to England, played for Leicester for 3 years, and now is going off to Saudi Arabia to play for Al-Ittihad. Now, Plumbtre was widely praised and congratulated on Twitter or X or whatever when the announcement came out. People were saying, well done, go get it, this is incredible, didn't see this coming, but congratulations and good luck. What you didn't see was a whole lot of support coming from the Western European or American players.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
And it's probably because their perception of it is you are going to a country that supports the degradation and oppression of women. And is that really the case? Well, here's the thing. Plumbtre was recruited by Kelly Lindsay. Kelly Lindsay was the technical director at Lewes FC. Now, this is a club that has equal pay for its men's and women's team. Lindsay was a former USA international and actually also was the coach of the Afghanistan women's national team as well as Morocco's. She's now in charge of the Saudi Arabian women's national team. Having been an ex-USA international, you wonder, what do all your old colleagues actually think of the move you've made here? Are they supportive, or do they think you're stabbing them in the back? Because it's really fascinating that everyone is radio silent about what's going on in Saudi Arabia right now.
It's great. Yeah. I prefer to love, yeah.
Peter Hutton, who was a CEO of Eurosport, he's also worked for IMG and ESPN. He's been a major sports broadcasting executive for a while. Where's he working right now? So he's actually on the Saudi Pro League board and is heavily invested in growing the women's game there as well. Speaking on the whole topic, he said, changes in the role of women in Saudi community are remarkable and moving very fast. I look at the evidence I see. You've now got 50,000 schoolgirls playing football. You've got 1,000 women coaches. You see that as evidence of change and women's football development as part of a societal change. That, for me, is the real attraction of this project. The interesting thing is how the media narratives and the reality of situations will start to contradict each other. If you've got U.S. internationals saying that Saudi Arabia has no legitimacy for women's football, and then you've got an ex-U.S. international actually coaching their women's team, something's not adding up here.
I don't know, Jeff, has it? I must have missed that.
And the thing is, this move and the way that Saudi Arabia are going to invest in their women's Premier League, that's going to cause this narrative to be challenged really heavily. Congratulations, Ashleigh Plumbtre. You and all the people working in the women's game in Saudi Arabia are trailblazers, and I'm genuinely interested to see where it goes from here. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football.